Everybody there?
Yep.
Yep.
So, do you want me to read it?
Sure. We can all read
Okay.
one.
Okay. So the first one says implement change. It says you have been promoted to a supervisory position in the purchasing department. For the past 3 years, you've been employed in that department as an administrative secretary, and you've realized that several of the office procedures need to be changed. In preparation for making a major change in an office procedure that will affect others in your department, determine at least 5 questions you should answer that will help you implement change effectively.
The first question you would need to ask is, why does it need to change? Does anyone agree or disagree?
Oh, that's a good one.
Definitely agree. I don't like to change things unless they're broke.
I think that if you tell people what the problem has been, the problems that whoever has experienced, then they'll see why you have to have the change.
That could lead to the next question is you could ask others what's broke or what kind of problems are we having with the office procedures.
Okay, so what problems are others experiencing regarding this issue?
Yeah, you could ask them what changes would make their job more efficient and reduce wasted time, those types of questions.
Because if you want them to jump on the change, you've got to show them the benefit to them.
Well, so I think that maybe goes, because one of the things that if I feel like I need to make a change, but someone else has maybe a little more experience, to ask them for their help in making the change so that it makes it easier for everyone who has to deal with the change. Or get everybody's opinion.
Right?
What are the challenges to making the change?
Yeah. And I think one other question is, how is it going to impact everyone?
But what do you do with someone who doesn't want to change things because the old or the current way is the way it's always been done? They just don't want to learn a new way of doing it.
I think for us, and we've had a little bit of that, but we've really kind of taken the opportunity to go down with that person and say, we realize this is how it's been done forever. We really think that this new way is better and improved. And if you would, really take the opportunity to sit and listen, to why we think it's improved, and ask questions during the training, so that we can help you understand why the change is occurring. That tends to be a little bit better than just going and saying we're changing, period. There's no questions asked. But to actually sit and talk and explain to them why and the benefits of the change.
And I think those are all good good questions to ask.
Yeah.
How about will we get to make the change? And when's the effective date?
All right, you guys ready to move on to number 2?
Sure.
Okay, you're sitting in at break time with 2 of your peers, Shannon, a personnel assistant from Human Resources, and Fong from Accounting, discussing obstacles and opportunities in different career options. Shannon and Fong have just graduated from the local community college with associate degrees. You asked Shannon and Fong to respond to the following question. As an office assistant, how important is it for me to have a college degree? If you were asked this question, how would you respond? I would start off with a statement that advanced education is important in almost any job.
Especially these days, it's getting even more so. I mean, back when a few of us started working, it probably wasn't that way in certain industries, but now you almost have to have advanced degrees, whether, you know, especially, you know, work at least towards your bachelor's.
Well, I have to say that from a practical standpoint, you can be an administrative assistant without the education. That's not what
As long as
BYU.
you have the experience, you know, because I worked in a law office and I didn't have a degree, but it was kind of like a trial thing. I didn't know much about being an office assistant then, and my boss didn't know much about having an office assistant, so it was kind of like we were learning together. I mean, I think if you have the right, like if you have experience in it, I don't know if you really. I think a degree would be helpful, but a lot, like at minimum, you need to have experience doing it in some sort of office setting.
Well, and I think one thing too, if you want to be a really effective office assistant, to have a degree, first of all, shows your commitment to something. And secondly, especially if it's a degree in the field that you're in, you can be a real asset to that person that you're an assistant with by really getting to know and they are, so that at one point you can work without a whole lot of instruction or always having to wait for them to tell you what to do, because maybe with that degree you could be valued as add more value as an office assistant. So maybe that's another reason to encourage a degree.
Sure, I agree.
Good point.
We're all frantically
Because I-
typing away these wonderful answers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm rhyming.
And the bottom line is that when I first became an administrative assistant, you know, close to 20 years ago, no one even bothered to ask about a degree. But as I've been searching for work, it is now they want you to have a degree to let you do this job. You can't compete effectively in the job market without the degree.
Right, I put down it opens more doors.
Yeah, well, for example, we have a girl that works for us that she is a teller. She always wants to be a teller. She's worked for us for 17 years now. But she is continually asking for like education things that she can do to improve her knowledge to help everyone, even though she's just at the front line, she still wants to be able to help everybody with IRAs and CDs and loans, and she wants to have a ton of knowledge right there. So she's always asking additional training opportunities and certifications and things that she can do to increase her knowledge where she's at, which has made her a very valuable teller. And sometimes we're like, gosh, do we need to promote her, into the lending department? Should we promote her into, branch management? And that's not what she wants. She wants to be a teller, but she's very good at what she does. And so this is kind of one of those things too, is that she's taking that opportunity to continue to learn, even though she only wants to be a teller.
Okay.
All right, who wants to read number 3?
I'll read 3. Kim has complimented you on successful startup with the company because you have been very thorough, positive, professional in your area of responsibility. Kim feels that she is not, quote, going anywhere, unquote, in her current position. She feels that she doesn't have any direction. She appears dissatisfied with her job, but would like to continue in the office administration field. She has asked you, how do you meet the challenge of the position? In other words, how do you do it? What do you tell her? Perseverance.
I would say focus. I've been a little overwhelmed this week because I've got the management discussion analysis for our audit that's sitting in my lap. We had a board meeting. I had to go to the board meeting for the neighboring district that wants to charge us more for sewage treatment. We've got a master plan board meeting coming up next week. Got a fire department committee meeting next week. And I've got finals, papers, and presentations to do. And sometimes I just feel like my head's going to explode. I'm going to forget to do something. And so I would just say focus. When you get a little overwhelmed, or even if you're just kind of stuck in a rut, if you just focus on doing the best job you can, or making the office a more positive place, you focus on something like that, or just focus on organization, focus on cleanliness, focus on priorities.
I think priorities is big.
I think one of the other things too, and I use this in our coaching model, where I'm training people how to be more positive and really help. I think one of the things is to ask her what she feels she does really well, because it kind of sounds like maybe she's kind of got that. I do the same thing every day. Nobody appreciates me. Maybe saying, what do you feel like you do really well? And then really compliment her on that, and say, that's what makes it really great, makes you a really great office assistant. And then that goes right back to what Norm said, is then, focus on those things that you do really well. And then maybe take a challenge, take an opportunity to step up those things that maybe you feel like, you're not as proficient in. But, ask her, what do you think you do well, and why do you think you, what do you feel like you bring value to the company?
I was thinking about goals, and you can set weekly goals or daily goals, but if you don't have any goals, you're not really going to know where you want to go or what you want to accomplish. So having just weekly goals, or like you were saying, Annette, if you're challenged on something, or you feel like you need to improve on something, make it a goal to become better at that part of your job.
That's a great idea.
And of course, your answer may be different depending on how much experience this Kim has. You know, is this the only job she's ever had? How many of us just, our first job was just our first job and not necessarily where we actually wanted to be? Someone's laughing.
Not me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, now I'm laughing.
Okay, so maybe your current job isn't necessarily where you want to be.
All right, number 4.
I can read it if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
For several years, your company has used a particular software package, and you have been the support person and trainer for the company employees. Now your department has shared with you that the company will be changing to another software package in 8 to 10 months. Your company expects everyone to switch to the new software and become proficient in it as soon as possible. Most employees are grumbling about having to learn another software package. You were told that your number one goal is to become an expert in the software and to be able to provide training and support during and after the changeover. List some training methods you feel will help you learn this new software. List ways your training and support can project a positive attitude towards this new software, and identify leadership qualities needed to work with employees during this transition.
So this is really
I think the
straight.
first-
This is me. This
Say
applies
that
directly.
again?
This applies directly to me, so I need all the ideas I can get. We're changing our software in 11 months. Or in,
It is use it, use it, use it.
I would reach out, maybe ask the software vendor to put you in touch with another bank or business or company that recently, or not so recently, maybe somebody that recently did it, but somebody that's had it for a while, and not really a reference, but kind of a resource that you can kind of pick their brain. And also maybe the vendor of the software has some special training methods that people have found are effective.
yeah, I know they're gonna start training immediately, and at 4 months, we're gonna run both softwares at the same time, allowing our employees to run both softwares at the same time, one in demo mode and one, our original one. But yeah, I'm trying to find out how right now I can be trained right now, so by the time we get to that 4 months, that I understand everything.
Okay, and so do you have the software on your computer yet?
No, not yet. We just signed the contract 2 weeks ago. So our executive management is flying out in 2 weeks to talk with them. They're in California. So I'm hoping to make some trips down there.
I wouldn't think your executive management flying out there will do any good, whereas you flying out there is what they need.
Yeah, well, they're flying out to get everything set up and get everything on task, and then from what I understand, they'll actually come and meet with us one-on-one in each department, and I'll get to be at each of those meetings to then select one person in each branch to work in tandem with me as we um, as we learn their portion of the software. So that's kind of in place. Not a timeline set just quite yet, but yeah, we're worried for sure.
Well,
So you're going to choose in each branch, you're going to choose a mentor that's going to be the primary their branch as questions come up. There'll be a group training, but then you're going to super train one person in each branch. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
and this can't be the first time that you guys have changed software. I mean, it's happened.
No, we did have a software upgrade that we changed about 8 years ago, and it was just an upgrade to our software that we had previously. So a lot of the stuff stayed the same, but they just flipped the switch. Didn't do much training. Flipped the switch, and we opened up with going as is. We did have people there at each branch to help, but this one we're actually switching to a completely new company. So this will be the first time that I've done it, and I've been there for 15 years. So.
And so everyone's going to have to do everything twice, once in the old system and once in the new system.
Yes.
That's going to make people cranky.
Yep. We know. We've already warned them. But they can also play. They can choose not to do it. They can choose to just do the new one, and then they can come back in and just run the demo when they have a second. But we're trying to get them to run in tandem so that we can see where we may find some issues.
And also it'll show you better how to train other people when the issues come up. It's kind of like in the Word class. Most of the things in Word were very intuitive, but the concordance index thing just is not. And so by learning what people are having problems with, you'll be able to train better.
Right.
One thing I was thinking about as far as training methods is if you incorporated some team building exercises and made it fun, then I think that would really help keep it positive and really get people to come together to be successful at it.
That's a great idea.
Well, the leadership has to keep a positive attitude no matter what, because if they're not positive about it, then you can't expect anybody else to be positive.
I know I think one of the things that we're doing is to kind of stay positive is that we've already let our employees know that this is going to happen. So even 11 months out, we're kind of already telling them they're going to love this new thing. I mean, because we've heard the capability, but we're telling them that it's exciting and that there's going to be all this training and it's going to be kind of that fun thing. And so I think that positive, helping them have a positive attitude, making them feel that it's really going to be a benefit.
Is it really going to make things easier for you guys?
About 150%. They said our system is so old that we have actually maxed out our capability. We're not functioning as a financial institution our size should be functioning, because the software, we're the guinea pigs every time they try something new at the height of their software, so they an institution our size. And the company that we're going to, we're only about 115 million in assets. And the company we're going to handles anybody from like 5 million to assets, and they just signed another credit union that's 3 billion in assets. So we feel pretty positive that this is going to be a major benefit.
If you don't mind me asking, and if the answer is you can't say, what's the cost difference in switching to the new program?
Almost straight across the board.
Oh, so you're getting a whole bunch of new stuff for no more money.
Right. There are some, there'll be added options as they come available, and if the credit union grows, we'll be able to add new products and services. So by doing that, that's where the cost will go up. But currently, almost straight across the board. The initial cost, we will have an initial cost set up, but our monthly cost setup, or our monthly cost will remain the same. It'll only increase as we increase numbers. So, which we're totally fine with.
Just curious, did your company buy the software, or is it a subscription based?
We'll buy it.
Okay.
All right. Step 2. As a group, identify a list of 5 to 10 reasons how the gospel and being a covenant-making member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints can help you meet challenges in the workplace. Include these principles or guidelines in your report for this activity. I think the big thing is, because we understand that everyone is a child of God, that we're brothers and sisters, it allows us to look at people differently than the world looks at people. And I think in that we can build better relationships, have respect for others, and treat each other as our brothers and sisters that they truly are.
That's good.
I also think, just because in kind of in my other class, we've been studying the 13th article of faith, which is really cool. And for that honesty and integrity, sometimes you feel, with members of the church, we say the young women's theme and we recite the articles of faith. We really understand what it means to be an honest citizen and an honest worker. Not that that's always the case, but there's kind of an integrity. So,
Okay.
and I think another one that we have is that we love to serve. We do it willingly. And so when we're asked to do something that may be outside our job description, and help others to be successful.
Kristen, what do you think?
I think one for me that I was thinking about, as a member of the church, I feel like we understand prayer and understand personal revelations and everything like that. And when you come across problems in the workplace that are stressful and hard and you don't know what to do, I think a lot of times, for me, I don't have a job yet, but like in school or with my roommates, there's a lot of prayer that goes into how to handle different situations that end up helping me in the long run, that someone that's not a member of the church or of any faith wouldn't understand, I guess. That makes sense.
That's a really good one.
In the Book of Mormon, and some of you scriptorian types can tell me where this is at, but you have the whole long list of things that you can do. And I specifically remember thinking, when it tells you, pray over your fields, pray over your flocks, well, that was what their job was, And for us, unless we're actually growing crops or animals, it applies to praying over our jobs.
I think there was a conference talk that kind of mentioned that.
Okay, well, I don't remember. I just remember reading the scripture and thinking, yeah, I'm not raising any flocks, but I do have a job.
One thing I thought was the principle of forgiveness. If we do have conflicts with people at work, whether it's personality conflicts or power struggle type issues, the principles of humility and forgiveness, I think, can help us overcome those.
I don't know how really to word this, but I was thinking about not keeping an eternal perspective, but keeping a perspective about work that, you know, is not the most important thing in the world. And sort of like what you were saying, that first one is keeping, you know, people are more important than our job. So all this, you know, comes together, like being honest, being forgiving, and being humble, and treating others properly is more important than trying to promote ourselves and trying to, you know, climb the chain or climb the ladder of success.
I think that we understand commitment differently than some others in the world understand.
Yeah, that's a good one, because we understand the importance. You know, we learn to make covenants, and we treat those very seriously. And so when we make a commitment to somebody at work, whether it's to get something done on time, or we commit to work for that company for 3 or 4 years or something like that, then we really take that seriously as well.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have anything else? We're over 5. We're not to 10 yet, but we're over 5.
Well, and the only thing that I can think of too is that, you know, it used to be that there was a major separation of church and state, you know, kind of church and job. But to kind of go along with that, you know, don't be afraid to hold your high standards that you have in the workplace, because I find that if you do that, that others will meet you at the place that you're at, because of the, you know, as long as you're building relationships and you're doing, you know, kind of keep that. If you're keeping your standards, you know, you're gonna be one person that they will come to in times of need, because they see kind of who you are.
That's good. Anyone have anything else?
Yeah, those are all good. I got 7. I think I might have missed a couple.
Or maybe I just broke mine up into more.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, I think we've got a lot.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for everyone for making this a good group. I was not very excited when I learned about this type of assignment, but it was great having you all as group members and going through this. I appreciated it.
Yeah,
Thanks to you guys.
It's been fun.
It has.
Well,
Hey,
good
is there-
luck, everybody.
Yeah.
With, the rest of your school career, and if any of you guys ever want to connect on LinkedIn, if I don't find you, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay, I got a question, just a quick one. I'm connected with people on LinkedIn, but I really don't use it much. Do you guys use LinkedIn very much?
I had to use it for a class that I was in, and one of the requirements of the class was to get at least 100 connections. So, and part of that class was making sure your LinkedIn profile was correct, and you know, it was almost actually like a resume class for LinkedIn or your online profile. So, you know, I got a lot out of the class. I can't even remember which class it was, but it's been a while. Since then, I've really looked at a lot of jobs on there. I've looked on, you know, connected with people who, you know, just solely for business purposes. So, you know, I check it every once in a while.
All right. Well, maybe when I'm looking for a job or something, that'll be the, you know, another networking tool that I can use to see what's available.
Yeah, I know a
Yeah,
lot of
I like
companies are going almost solely to social networking sites for their job posting. So they won't post a job, but it's just sort of get out there through connection.
All right. Well, yeah, good luck everybody with the rest of your school and careers, and
You too.
All right. Have a good conference weekend.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Too.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.